Hello, my name is Caroline Adams and I'm a solicitor at Lawbridge Solicitors specialising in employment and social media law. The title of this webinar is Social Media in the Workplace and Beyond. I've chosen to talk about this subject because social media has become a true phenomenon in recent years. If the statistics are correct, more than half of all employees have a Facebook account, and many may also tweet on Twitter or make the occasional appearance on YouTube. The lines between what is work-related and what is non-work-related are frequently blurred, and the problems are often further exacerbated by the fact that there is no specific legislation that deals with social media issues. Ultimately, what an employee says or does on Facebook, on Twitter or on YouTube can have an impact at work and upon their employer's business. There are a number of legal issues that can arise from the use of social media by employees. The first legal issue relating to social media is misconduct. An employee can say things on social media sites that are derogatory about their employer's business or about their colleagues. They may even also post pictures of themselves in circumstances which do not paint themselves in a terribly good light. Or they can express views about some aspects of life that others may find unpalatable. The problem with these comments and images is that they actually have an audience. Once the contents of them have been pasted onto the internet, they're no longer private. What used to be a private chat between employees in the corner of the office or in the pub after work can now be communicated to anybody else in the organisation, and indeed it can be broadcast to the whole world in a matter of minutes. And once it's out there, it stays out there. If an employer tries to do something about what an employee has said on a social media site, the employee may turn around and say that it's their personal account and that they have the right to privacy and the freedom of speech. So it may help many employers to know what action they can take and what action they can't take for misconduct by employees using social media. Second legal issue relates to an employer's potential liability for their employees' activities on social media sites. It may be, for example, that an employee has said something on a social media site that amounts to harassment or discrimination of another employee. Or they may have said something that amounts to a defamatory comment about a third party. For example, they could have said that a competitor is engaging in some form of dodgy practice or other. Either of those things could make a business or organisation potentially liable to pay substantial compensation to the person whose feelings or reputation has been damaged. The third legal issue is time wasting. It may be that employees are spending too much time on Facebook at work and that their employer wants to take action to reduce the time wasting. But the concern for the employer is that they've heard about the Data Protection Act and regulations relating to monitoring, and they're not sure exactly how they can legally check on what their employees are doing. A further legal issue relates to using social media in connection with recruitment. By using social media sites such as LinkedIn and Facebook, employers will have access to information about an applicant that is not normally contained in their CV, such as their age, their sexual orientation, and their religious beliefs. Reliance upon such profiles as part of the recruitment process can put employers at risk of discrimination claims. In addition, there are legal implications relating to data protection and privacy that an employer should be aware of before considering whether or not to use information that they have obtained on social media sites. And the final scenario is where a business has staff who are using social networking sites such as LinkedIn for business purposes to make connections with potential clients and customers or even valuable business contacts. The issues arise here are commonly when the employee's employment is terminated and they want to take all of their contacts with them to either a new employer or to use when starting up a business that may well compete with the former employer's business. So as you can see, there are a number of practical legal issues here, and over the course of the next hour or so I'm going to try to answer some of the questions that have arisen and give you some guidance on what I think are the best way to attempt to resolve these issues.